we have actor of the film with us today, Ricardo Bombaji. I welcome you to this press conference. And the second film we have today is Saving One Who Was Dead. It was screened yesterday at IFFI, selected under international competition category. And we have with us Vaclav Kadrenka. Welcome to this press conference. He's the director of the film. And the third film we have today is The Night Belongs to Lovers. It's a French movie selected under World Panorama category. And we have with us director of the film, Julien Hilmond. Welcome. Yeah. First, I will briefly talk about the giants and introduce the film to you. Then we'll have the trailer. Well, Giants, the film tells about a reunion among old friends. There is a remote house in a forgotten valley. It gathers a group of friends struggling with their relationship and seeking refuge in alcohol and drugs. Many memories, bullets, and love stories from the abyss. This movie is an attack on masculinity in all its forms, an attempt to show it in a stinky frailty. The film was screened here yesterday. It was also selected for the prestigious Locarno Film Festival under international competition category. So, can we have the trailer, please? Please switch off the lights. Yeah.
Ci sono persone che dicono di fare una cosa e poi ne fanno parlano per anni. Sono tutti così. Si è fatto tutti i paesi. Non ci ha dato uno. Un'ora e mezza ci ho messo a me.
Proprio tirano per cento. Tira i miei zii.
Tanto non ho pagato il biglietto. Come è fatto? A cosa? Non ho pagato. Non avevo soldi, non ho pagato.
Questa la laviamo bene, ci dura 3 giorni. Forse 2. Questa è professional. La bottiglietta ce l'abbiamo.
Sì. Presenti quelli che non ce la fanno più, che prendono, ammazzano la moglie, i figli e poi si sparano un colpo in testa. Qui ci sono ripartono tanto così. Intanto così ci sono abitati.
Sai cosa è successo una volta in una vita scolastica? Ho trovato il teschio di un uomo sepolto nel terreno. E non sai di chi era quel teschio. Non ci crederei. Era il mio. Secondo loro ero io mo.
Devi già fare 13 giorni. Si sforzate a vedere cose che non ci sono. Adesso non si può più avvicinare alle persone. E chi si andrà avvicinando?
Mi sta oscillando, cioè tu voglio bene, no? Mi sta oscillando, non lo vedi che sto parlando? Non lo vedi che sto parlando?
E mentre parlo ho sempre la tua voce. Mi parla di una parola al tempo passato. Ancora dentro di me.
A very intense story, I must say. The second film we have with us today is Saving One Who Was Dead. I will briefly introduce the films. After a stroke, father goes into coma. The son and the mother are suddenly confronted by a motionless body. The person they love is somewhere far away and nobody knows whether he will return. The doctors even don't give them hope. Now the duo concentrate all their strength and start to act. First, they address the father's body, but soon both of them realize they must direct their words to something beyond. Well, Saving One Who Was Dead is the third installment in which Czech filmmaker Václav Kadrenka describes as his absence of loved one trilogy. It follows his other two debuts. The director of the film is Václav Kadrenka, who is a famous Czech filmmaker. And now we'll just go to the trailer. Can we have the trailer, please?
Ma non c'è per qui il nome.
Please switch on the lights. The third film we have today is The Night Belongs to Lovers. It's a French movie. It's a meeting between Waves and Cleves. In a week, he's getting married. For years, no longer believes in pleasure. They meet, they play, they talk, they desire for each other as a gift unconditionally, like a dance on the edge of emptiness. For one night, they met for one night, only one night, and there is only one night. It's a story, very intimate love story, and the director will, after a short while, brief about the film also. Now, I will go to the giants again, and we have Ricardo Bombaji, actor of the film, and I would like to request Ricardo just to briefly speak about your experience and about the film.
Hello everyone. So, you want to know how I prepared or I was working in this movie, right?
Yeah.
So let's say this, that I have no theories on how to prepare for like a job. there are no theories. Each character, I think, have different like every movie have a different way that you can reach. Like there are many characters, and what you have to do is put yourself into their shows. So completely eliminate yourself, but not wait, not too much, but delete a part of yourself and make space for the character to come in. So that's the best way you can like represent somebody that is not you. Remember, I prepared like in 2 weeks because Italy went in lockdown really hard and we weren't able to do anything. We were closed in our house. So the director came and asked if like there was a little break between two lockdown. We had like this movie was written and recorded in 2 months and a half. And then we went on another lockdown, but the movie was done. So for 1 week I studied all the script and my lines, and then I completely like forget about the script because I think that if you read too much, like I was recording myself, and I was seeing that the more I practiced the line, the more I exercised the line, the more I was becoming a machine, and less emotion were coming out of me. So I studied for 1 week, then completely forget the script and starting just to act on my daily life like the character. And not go overboard. You have to find a balance. You don't have to study all the lines and all perfect. You have to understand the meaning of the lines and the scenes, and then portray it as you would portray it. Like bring something to the character, and let the character bring something to you.
Now, why did you choose drugs as an element to connect the characters? What compelled you to choose?
Well, actually, it could be like food, or it could be anything that people like indulge. Was just like drugs wasn't the paint, but was the decoration or the setting. Let's say that drugs were the setting. Was like a symbolism to tell about the autodestructive behavior that men have when something bad goes in their life. You know, there are two kinds of way of thinking. One that does like, hey, don't worry, friend, the sea is full of fishes. And the other one that take some stuff more seriously. Like, I think every humans in his life have loved someone and lost that loved one. Or maybe if he's lucky, he didn't and he kept himself until the end of the time, his time. And but some other people like lose the love of their life, and they keep going. However, they keep going. Some people live like find a balance, have to cope without drugs or without bad stuff, with the pain, and others cope with self-destructive behaviors, like they are searching a way out of this world, you know, but they don't have the courage to like suicide, so they know they are doing something bad and unhealthy, and that is rotten their flesh and spirit. But I think that's the way that like humans behave very different from each other. However, there are many people that do the way that they try to find peace with themselves, and there are others that let it go. Just they don't care anymore about their life, their health, themselves, because they lost something. It can be love, it can be a dream, it can be it can be like your dream that went to fragment. It can be anything, actually, anything. A trauma in your childhood. But you always have the choice to how you're gonna live your life.
Okay, thank you. Let me come back to you now. We are going to Vaclav Katranka, and he's a famous Czech filmmaker. And after graduation at FAMU, he completed 80 letters in 2011. His full-length feature, based on his mother's letters to his father during his emigration from the communist regime. And he's the director of the film Saving One Who Was Dead, who was screened yesterday at IFFI under international competition category. So I would request Vaclav to briefly speak about your film and what inspired you to go for this film and anything else you would like to say.
Thank you. Well, the film really evolves from my own experience when my father had a stroke, and me and my mother, we tried to bring him back from the coma, and we spent hours by his bed and trying to find the right words. So basically, the images that you see come from my memory, and the sounds come also from my memory, and so it's a very personal film.
Okay, and I would like to ask, what was the core concept of your movie and what message exactly you want to convey? Is it to explore a metaphysical world that focus between life and death or anything else?
I don't know. I don't think about it this way. I just wanted to share my experience.
Okay.
And the concept was really, I worked for a long time with my DOP, who's a French DOP, Raphael Byrne. And usually when I start working, I start with, even before I have a script, I ask for a friend of mine who's a painter, a very well-known Czech painter, and we kind of think about the locations, we think about the colors, and we kind of create this concept, but it's a process. It takes a long time. But the locations are very important for me always, to find the right space, because I always try to give a space a role. So, yeah.
We'll again come back. Then now we are moving to the third film, The Night Belongs to Lovers. It's a French movie, and we have with us the director of the film, Julien Villemont. He's a French director, born in 1979. After a bachelor's in cinema, he graduated from the directing department of La Femis in 2006. After directing 3 short films between 2005 and 2008, he directed his first feature film, La Note aux Amants, in 2019. Okay, now I would like to request Julian to speak a few words about his movie and how you made this. How was your cinematic journey and your experience of the movie?
That's a big question. You understand? I'm sorry, my English is not so good.
No, it's okay.
Yeah, it's a movie about one night between 2 characters, a boy and a girl, who meet at the beginning of the night, and we are with us during all the movie. They were always on screen, not of them, and only neither. And it's a movie about what is when two people meet. It's about love, about desire, about sex, about lying. That's why you can see the trailer in a way. I understand. Actually, broadcasting is complicated. I just have to say that I don't know why, but the synopsis of the movie that's sharing everywhere is an old one from the first version of the film that should take place beyond the sea. But now they have nothing to do with cliffs in this movie. Even it's words that synopsis. I always tell, hey, put that out, and every time I came to a festival or something, I found always the same synopsis. I don't know why, but there is no cliffs. Don't look at that. There's just a lake. But well, that's not so important. But from a cinematographic journey, it was a long time to just see between the last short film and this one, more than 10 years. So I won't tell you what happens in this 10 years. It was long processes for this movie. Yeah.
Okay. First of all, sorry for that. We're not playing the trailer. We can have the trailer here. Actually, it's okay for, theater. As we are, all of you know that we are going live on all our social media platforms of Press Information Bureau. So we skipped it, but we can discuss about the film very much. That's not an issue. Okay.
That's no problem.
Yeah.
I understand.
Yeah.
Fully understand.
Okay. Now the floor is open for questions. Any of you can ask questions to our guests. Yeah.
Very good afternoon. This is for Julian, the Night Dogs lovers. How challenging it was for you to aesthetically design with only two characters and one single location? Right? Almost more than 90% of movie happens in one single location with only two characters.
Yeah.
How challenging and what was the preparations you went to engage with only two characters and one single location?
Yeah, we have to work a lot. It's part of the movie in a way. When I do the casting and choose the two actors, they know that, and all the team know that too. We have a very few money to do the movie, so we shoot that in 12 days. So it's very few, and you just have to. Yeah, it's a good question, but we just do that in a way. It's the movie I choose to do, and let me say that. The team was very implicated. I rewrote the script with the two main actors and with the director assistants. I speak a lot with everybody. We were there with the cinematographer 2 weeks before we start shooting. We go together in in this only one room called we shoot in a real set. So all the team spent almost all the shooting in one room too. It's just about talking a lot, be clear of what we are doing, why we are doing that, just to have no problem. The most important thing is that when we have only 12 days, that's a good question that has been asked before, and we have done the answer, so we can just focus on feelings and on the acting, and we have to shoot everything else before, just to have time to focus on that. And it's just about speaking and spending time and working together with good persons. That's very important to have good persons in all the team, all the crew, and very nice and very wonderful. But the care, they know it's difficult. What the actors are doing is difficult. Yeah, I'm talking too much. Sorry.
No.
Okay.
I really
you before the screening, you had said you're usually happy with those who sort of disagree with what you do. What you do.
Before?
Yeah. Well, in the screening,
Yeah.
you said that you are happy with those who disagree with your movies in that sense.
I'm sorry, I'm not sure to.
Who are in conflict with your movies.
What?
dislike.
Dislike.
Ah.
Yeah, not like but dislike kind of a thing.
Yeah.
Okay, in that sense, what I'm saying is I had serious issues with the movie. In that sense, given our own cultural background, cultural specificity that we come from. France is a very open society, and in that sense, and in India, we're still a conservative nation in that sense. Though today's modern generation are, aping the West in all aspects. That apart, what I'm saying is, what you wanted to implicate was anyway visible. Anyway, it was obvious. But my question is, was nudity at all necessary in the first place? One thing. I mean, given the transaction that's happening with them. And I mean, basically, I felt it was virtually a semi-prone, if I can put it rudely like that. Semi-prone for me. I found it very semi-prone in that sense. Though we are still a liberal, I mean, we too are in India very liberal and with invasion of internet and other things. That are, I mean, what is understood that, okay, what you want to say and implicate it, but still, was that nudity necessary and the kind of things that they go through, was it necessity at all? Because I know you come from a different background in that sense. And the thing is, your film was passed because it's in a film festival screening. If it had come to the regular channel, it would have been banned in India in that sense. Yeah, in that sense.
Yeah, I understand this question. It's it's difficult because it's.
And was there? I mean, one more thing. Was there any political thing that you were implicating? Because there was this revolution you were speaking about, and she wants to actually enroll him into the revolution. That's. I mean, what is the revolution that you were actually talking about?
Oh, it's too big question to answer that. I have maybe to to say something about all society in all around the world, so I can't do that. So it will be short about the sexual content and the nudity. Yeah, it's a question that we all ask. Just know what we have to show, what we don't have to show. Yeah, if you see the film, you know that we choose not to see explicit sexual content. That was we all the things what out of the screen. But what I was trying to do there is to work on intimacy. What happens when two people are in a bed, are naked, are making love and speaking, and what happened in the transition between the moments they make love, the moments they speak. What happens? They speak, they start to speak, to desire, and then they stop making love and come back to speak. And all these transitions are very important to me. And I feel that in cinema I don't see movies who are showing that things. And I think that's things that are amazing, that's incredible, and I just want to show that. And to show that, I have to show nudity a little bit. I feel that's not so much because the sex are always when they are in action, they are always kept here, and we choose to do that, and it's important because we don't want to be bored. We don't want that that audience ask himself, "Oh, did they really make love?" No, for me, it's clear that they don't do. I hope that the audience feels the same, and just to see a face, just to see what they feel, just to see all the little things that happens when they are trying to make love. I have to show some nudity, but we reduce it. That's why after the first, in a way, the first big sex scene, we show to the okay. Here we show everything. We will see. Because after that we will be okay. The audience will not ask, "Oh, maybe I will see some breasts. That will be cool." No, if you want to see it, see it once time, and then we can talk about cinema. And that's why after that, most of the time, girls keep a shirt, and there's not so much nudity after that.
But the problem is you heighten the expectation. That's the main problem. By starting off with what you by starting off with that particular scene that you're talking about. See, the problem is, like I said, we come from a different culture altogether.
Yeah.
So what you want to convey through the dialogues and which, okay, what happens is you're entirely deflected from what is happening. So the audience's expectations, again, when is the next scene, and they're not talking about, and they're not able to concentrate on the dialogue and the kind of dilemma and the kind of situational, societal situation that they are into and why the girl is doing that. No, they are not. You have already, vitiated their sense of cinema in that sense. That's what I'm saying. That's the problem. Therein lies the problem of your film. That's all.
In a way, I completely understand that you have to feel like that, and in a way, it's a film that it's like that. For people who have your vision of society, of morality, of humanity, and I respect that, and I clearly understand that someone who has this vision can go in that movie. I really understand that. I don't think when you are doing art, you can always thinking of all the audience possible and to do something that can please to everyone. If you do that, you don't do art. You do yogurts. And if you are doing art, you just have to do what it seems right to you, I think. And if you have a chance, some people are touched by what you have to say. If you don't have chance, nobody is touched, and you are quieting. I think it's just as simple as that. For me, it's you have to be honest to do what it seems right to you, and maybe different people who are different from you don't understand or don't like this, and I clearly understand and I respect what you are doing, what you are thinking, but it's not, in a way, it's not my job to think of all the morality and all the society and all the culture in the world. I just have to do my stuff. And if you like it, it's good. If you don't like it, don't watch it. And
No.
it's not and I say it with a lot of respect. I respect this tradition.
Yeah, they wanted the best. The best part of your film was the casting of the girl. I mean, she's not the archetypical kind of so-called, slave. Then all that. In that sense, you have done a casting coup in that sense. A person who's well-rounded and other things. But in general, like you said, no, if you don't like it, you don't watch it. But unless you see it, you'll not be able to like it or dislike it. That's tragedy with cinema, at least, isn't it? See, you may say, that's what is happening with all the filmmakers. They say, if you don't like it, you don't watch it. But how will I make a judgment unless I watch it?
Yeah.
Therein comes. Yeah.
I'm alright. It was a little bit rude to say that. Yeah, I understand. You can watch it, and you have the right to not like it.
That's right. But when it is in public domain, it becomes a
That's better. I really like when I see a movie and I really don't like it. And I really don't like it because it not because of the cinematography, because it hurts my morality or it's moved me. And even if I don't like it, I say, hey, that's something. Maybe it's something and say, oh, I hate that director. But it's a kind of artist if I can hate him. So to say don't watch it, it was some bad, but I don't have to say that. You're right.
What is the importance of freedom of expression and for a director to say, what is the importance of freedom of expression, and the director has to have a vision and he should be the only person who should be deciding what he wants to tell and not be ruled by any Tom and Dick and Harry who can just get up and just throw their moralities, which can be absolutely regressive as well. Because we are from a land of Kama Sutra and Khajuraho. You cannot tell us that what is right, what is wrong, what is morally right, and this person, because sex is something, because of that, people have been born. So how can it be corrupt? How can it be something so wrong? And you are right. If you don't like something, don't watch it. You have the prerogatives. You cannot be ruling a filmmaker that this is what you should be making, and this is what I don't like it, and you cannot make it. Because someone else can relate to it. So it's a prerogative of the filmmakers. What is the importance of freedom of expression as per you?
I don't really. The question is what I think about this freedom of expression, and you think it's quite problematic, or you think?
No, it is good. It is important. See, it's a filmmaker's prerogative what he wants to say. He may be right. See, who are we to judge anyone based on morality? What is morality? But what may be morality for you, I can find it like maybe you're perverted, that you're thinking about something from a certain point of view. It may not be that way. It can be something beautiful.
I'm totally alright with that. In a way, you say it well, so I don't have any more to say about that. I think that you have to do that, and not only director or artists have to.
Any art.
Yeah, any art form. You have to. I really think it's important to speak from you. I'm not agree with you when you say that the director is the only one that shoots, because is that in that movie there is many times it's not me. That's true. Sometimes it was the actors, sometimes it was the assistant director, sometimes it was cinematographer, the editors, the producers. Everybody at some time has made. Yeah, I said, hey, you should do that.
It's a collaborative.
And and they was right. They was right, and I don't think that a director should be just like a god, really not. And I think you have to you are together, and it's important to hear what the other have to say about what you're doing, and I'm convinced that what we're doing is right. And you're right. Morality different in every
subjective
in the world.
It is subjective. Morality will always be subjective. So what is morality according to
Yeah, it's a big problem. I can solve that in 5 minutes. But yeah, if this movie can make people asking about what's morality, maybe it's not such a bad job, even if they don't like it.
Okay. Thank you. Question for Ricardo. What inspired you to go for this title, The Giants? What was the idea behind this?
Well, let's get back to pre-Paleolithic era, when in Sardinia, the land where this movie was recorded, there were this mythology where there were these huge warrior, really tall, really strong, and they were called the Giants of Monte Prama. Literally, the translation is the Giants of Prama Mountains. So, Sardinia is part of Italy, and however, we have different culture, really big different culture, and our own language even. We speak Sardo, and we have been conquered by Italians. There wasn't any war. We always be in contact with them. However, I'm more Italian than Sardinia. I live in Sardinia, by the way. We live well. We have good connection, but Italy has always took many resources from Sardinia. Sardinia in the ancient time was full of trees. It was full of rainforest, and those trees were cut. Now there is a lot more desert than trees, and were cut by Italians to build railways in Italy. So every time that in an archaeological site Sardinian or somebody discover it, even in Africa or Spain or France, even in Greece, they discover some works that they picture the giants of Monte Prama. They get big chests, they get pumped up, and they say, look, we are the best warrior in the world. We reach Greece, we reach Middle East, we reach the actual Turkey, and But at the end of the day, what is left about those giants, those super warriors, those heroes, are what you see in the movie. So a bunch of people that is really good at talking, but way less good in walking, So it's like a joke that the director wanted to like make to the Sardinians, like saying, look, one time you were strong and you always talk about the past, that you were warriors, giants and so strong, but you never fought for revolution, you never fought for freedom and rights, and Italians came in, took all your resources, and all you have to say is one time we were really strong. I don't understand why we ended up like this. And they do nothing to change this. That's the way it always has been, and that's the way it always will be, I think. Because, well, I think it's in their DNA. I don't know what happens. At some point, they stopped fighting, if it's true that they were warriors, actually. And they just settle and let people come in, take the resources, and get out, and just do nothing. So they ended up like you see in the movie, doing drugs and crying all over.
As we saw in the trailer and also in the film, it's a very intense story. So I would like to ask, as an actor, how challenging for you it was, and what kind of preparation you
Well,
did for this?
yeah. I don't follow any school of thoughts about acting, but there is one thing that really push, I think, every actor, and is the fear to look fake in the screen. We have the biggest fear for an actor is to look fake in the screen. Like if you are crying, it's really scary. If somebody, when he's watching your movie, say, "Man, oh, nobody cries like that," or he's not crying, it looks like it's just a technique. He's not feeling emotion. So I think the best thing that you have to do is really feel the pain, really feel the fury and the sadness and the love, so you can like show to the people that are watching the movie that it's real, because it really is. When you are in the setting and when you are recording the movie, you are in the set. You cry for real, so you can work like I know some actors work with memory. Like I sometimes work with memory when I'm like. Actually, let's say this first. If you want to be an actor, you have to be sensitive and you have to develop empathy for everybody. So if the story is not really touchy to you, but I think it's hard, because if you said yes to the script, if you say yes to the director that you like this project and you want to be a part of this project, then I think you have something to say in this story. But if a particular scene doesn't touch you, you don't feel the pain, you don't feel the rage, you can work with your memory. That's like, and I discovered, like, I didn't know that, but I discovered with other actors that this is like a technique. And the director told me that too, that it's called Stanislavski, I think, technique, where you use your memories to like, you think something that make you feel bad, and you will feel bad. Like you use your memory to bring out emotion out yourself, and you only show them at 80%, not fully, because if you go too overboard, you look like the camera is already amplifying, because the focus is on your face, is on your is in your mouth, in your eyes, so you can see every emotion in camera, and it's amplified 1,000 times. So you have to filter or hold this emotion a little bit, but let it flow and feel for real the rage and the pain and the beauty of life and everything. So nobody can say that you are fake, because if somebody is saying that you look fake, that's his problem. It's his problem, because you were feeling for real this emotion. So you don't feel guilty, you don't feel like bad with yourself, because you were really experiencing it. That mental state. So I think that's it. That's the answer.
Okay, thank you. Do you have, yeah.
Yeah, my question is to Backlog Katranga. What I would like to ask you is the title of the movie is Saving the One Who Was Dead.
Yeah.
Right, so do you happen to imply through this title and the film that it is necessary for one to die in order to be saved? Because some of the scriptural texts they say that unless you deny yourself and you take rebirth, you will not attain salvation, right? So on a similar line, this is my first question, and the second question is you say that in order to save the father, their mother and the son had to overcome the fear and get resurrected or resurrect. So I would request you to throw some light on this as well. And finally, my third part of the question is it is very poignant for us to know that you have made the film based upon the experience of your own father. So has the making of the film and the sharing of the experience through this film, has it enabled you to better come to terms with the grief that you and your family had to undergo?
Okay, thank you for the questions. I'll start with the. I don't remember the first one already, but
the last one.
You will help me. You will help me as I answer. So the film is not a therapy. I didn't make the film as a therapy. It wasn't my intention to, because the experience me and my mother went through with my father was very difficult, but also very liberating. And so it's not a film, a therapy. It's a film which kind of shares this experience, and it turned out to be an experience full of light and hope because my father survived and now he's doing very well. So yeah, and we actually brought him back from the coma. He heard every word we told him, and he could remember every word we told him. So that's but my intention wasn't to make a therapy film. No, I just wanted to share this experience and maybe to show that being close to death could be very creative in a way. The second question, sorry, what was it?
This was the third question which you have answered.
Yeah.
The first question was, is it necessary to die in order to be saved?
Oh, I don't think so. I think I think that is a part of our lives.
Die means not die physically. But,
Yeah. But sometimes, we need to face the tragic of that, and we need to overcome. We need to, because for me it was the first time I faced the closeness of death, being connected with somebody I love very much. It was for the first time. So first you feel down and very weak and very sad, but then you kind of realize that it could be also liberating and full of light and creative in a way. I don't know how to explain. This is the feeling I had. So we used this energy with my mother to work with him, and it worked. So, but I don't think it's necessary to be, to be tragic in order to be resurrected. I don't believe that there needs to be sacrifice in order to be saved in a way. And the second question.
Second question was about resurrection.
Yeah, and the first one?
First one was.
So I answered. Thank you.
So what I would like to further ask you is, you say that you just wanted to share your experience, you didn't want it to be therapeutic in any sense. But don't you think authentic sharing of experience will invariably help other people cope with the suffering in their lives, especially in the light of the COVID-19 pandemic? I would like you to please throw some light on how audience has received this film and how it is possibly helping other people face that tragedies in their life.
I had reactions like that, which for me is very important. People came to me with a very similar experience, and so we shared this, we talked about it, and for a filmmaker, it's always the best that he feels that his film communicates and maybe brings some hope. And we started to shoot this film, and it was 2 years ago in March, and after 10 days pandemic started, so we had to stop for nearly 2 months. So it kind of reflected the situation that we didn't reflect it in the film, but there's the whole film is in the interior. There's no exterior, only behind the windows. But this was all before the pandemic. I didn't intend it to be some kind of metaphor of what happened. It happened during the shooting.
last question I would like to ask is, how did your parents receive the film?
Oh, thank you. This is maybe the best question of all them. Yeah, they were very pleased. My father was very pleased with the film, and I discussed a lot of things with him. And after he woke up, he could hear every word, he could remember everything, and he also kind of invented his images. So there are some images, especially with the boy, that comes from his memory when he was in a coma. So yeah, we shared everything while I was working on the film, so it was important to know their.
Thank you, congratulations, and all the best for the Golden Peacock.
Thank you.
Excuse me, sir. I am Professor Ahmed.
Please, kindly speak to the mic. Yeah.
A last question to the sir's extension. Fifth question you can say. What is it has motivated to make this film, and what is the message you want to convey to the society? Brief 2 points, sir. Message and what it initiated to make this film.
Yeah, for me, it's very important that you can feel some liberation, even though the situation is very difficult. That was the message. That's it. I felt, just to show some light despite the tragic circumstances, because this is what I felt. And that was the message. And the first one was you asked for something.
Initiated.
What initiated? Oh, well, of course, but it was a very, for me it was a very deep experience, and I'm a filmmaker, and it was impossible to not do. Yeah.
Sorry for your pain.
Yeah, I had to share it.
Share with the world.
Yeah.
Good AIDS. Humanity is suffering because of AIDS.
Yeah. Thank you.
Humanity is suffering with AIDS. You have done a very noble act. I think I will compare after Mother Teresa's your contribution to the world is a great. Thank you. I salute, sir, from my India Press Bureau and all the friends. Namaste.
How is your father now? Is all right?
Oh yeah, he's not just great; he's doing very well. Oh, of course, he has some handicap, but it's just with the moving, but he can walk. But the most important thing is that he came back and because they took a big part of his small brain actually during the operation, which means the doctors told us he would be in a lock, which means his mind somewhere far away in his body here. But he woke up and he started to study quantum physics and chemistry, and he's brilliant. Something happened in his mind, and I'm making a documentary about him. So if you just, for example, if he was here and you would give him what the Fibonacci sequences are. You would give him a Fibonacci 63. He would tell you immediately this 25 digits number from his mind. So something happened. It's incredible.
We all hope he'll be fine soon and wish a speedy recovery. And if you have no more questions, then we'll proceed and wind up this session. I would like to, on behalf of Press Information Bureau, Government of India, I thank Vaclav Kadranka, Ricardo Bombaji, and Julian Hilmoen for joining us here in this press conference today. And I also would like to thank all our media friends.